Well, as you can see, we've got a fantastic Labour team working every single day in London and across the country, campaigning with fantastic councillors and candidates and with a very positive message. Of course, it's going to be a challenge, but it is really important that we go in fighting for every vote which has to be earned in relation to this. We know.
Thank you to the Prime Minister and our Deputy Leader for being here to rally us in the final stretch of the campaign. Look, this has been a hard-fought campaign, and for every single activist, for our amazing candidates, just a huge thank you. You have put your heart and soul, countless doors, countless conversations, countless miles clocked, selling our message. You know, I've been incredibly proud to go out and campaign for Southwark and Southwark Labour, where you are today. And, you know, for me, our council represents the very best of Labour in government and what we can do. It is the biggest council house builder in the country. School meals, which was then nicked by our mayor, Sadiq Khan, and then it's now being rolled out across the country. Through the years of austerity, made local decisions in order to keep our parks, our libraries, our youth centres open. The very best of Labour, governing with Labour values. And that was through the period of austerity with the Tories in charge. And for me, my hope and the reason why we have to do everything we can to get our councils across London back in is that the hope is that now we not just have Labour in local government, we have a Labour government that is standing alongside them. And the change and the transformation we can deliver for our communities with that, I think, has huge potential. So my big ask is, you know, in the final couple of days, please rally behind our candidates. Please go on the doorsteps on polling day. We know the Labour vote is there. We need to reach those voters, we need to get them to come out, and we need them to elect Labour Council after Labour Council, not just in London, but across the country, so we can do the job of transforming the country. So thank you all. Let's get in there and let's do what we can. Can I just pass on? In Westminster where Lucy hosted a lot of us from Peckham and inspired us before the tough campaign ahead. And so, look, thank you. It's beautiful art that at the end of our campaign, you're back here in Peckham and you're talking to all of us and inspiring and motivating us. So I'll hand over to Lucy Powell. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Miatta, and thank you, all of you, for coming here today. As Miatta has said, we're here to say thank you to you. Thank you to our Labour activists, our Labour members, our Labour candidates and councillors who do an amazing job. We're just here with a couple of days to go now in these really important elections to say loudly and clearly to you and to all of the voters out there is a huge amount at stake in these elections. Let's not be under any illusion about that. As Miatta has just said, This is about our Labour values in action in these elections and what kind of values you want in your community. And here we are in Southwark, as you say, those values absolutely in action. Building more social housing, which is, I can see all around me, is absolutely amazing. We are taking on those vested interests who don't want to change this country and giving new rights to renters, new employment rights. Day one sick pay for people, so they've got security in work as well. We've given the lowest paid a pay rise. We've given pensioners a pay rise, a much deserved pay rise too. And as you say, we're lifting children out of poverty. And here in every community, we are investing in our services, investing in our high streets and our town centres. That is Labour values in action, and they are at stake in these elections. Be under no illusion about that, because our political opponents, whether it's Reform, who don't want to appear in front of the media, it would seem, don't want to be accountable for their policies and their actions, because we know what they do when they take charge. They put up taxes, they cut services, and they cut the safety net for those who need it the most, whether that's in care homes, in nurseries and around the country. And what have we got to say about the Greens here as well? I mean, they want you to be under a complete illusion, but we know what they do in local government as well, because they don't follow through on their values. We see recycling rates drop when they're in charge, we see bin collections drop, and we see affordable and social housing bills drop as well, because they don't follow through on their actions. So be under no illusion, there's a huge amount at stake. And that's why I want to just thank you again for all your efforts, because every single conversation you have been having and you will have over the next few days really makes a difference. And everywhere I go, people have said to me that the conversations on the doorstep are far, far more positive than you would think they are. So carry on having those conversations. And then the other important job I've got here today is to introduce our fantastic Prime Minister and leader of the Labour Party, who needs very little introduction. But can I just say from the outset how incredibly proud I am of you, Keir, for the leadership you have shown, particularly internationally, in recent months. You were under a huge amount of pressure from all quarters, internationally, and from our opponents here and from the media to join that offensive war in Iran. And you stood firm and you said, no, we're absolutely not joining. The leadership that you have shown in this country and around the world to deal with the challenges that that conflict presents. It was only a couple of years ago that we were the pariahs of Europe. Now you're leading Europe, you're building those alliances, and you're building those measures that we need to take our country forward. So we're incredibly proud of you. Thank you for being here today. The leader of the Labour Party, Keir
Thank you, Lucy, and thank you to all of you and all of our activists and campaigners and members who've been doing so much work over the last few weeks, campaigning with brilliant candidates, with a really positive campaign that we've been running. It is, of course, hard yards, but you know and I know that in so many cases, it's the last few days that makes a difference when people are making up their minds. So thank you for what you have done. Thank you for what you're going to go on and do in the next few days, because we will fight this all of the way. And of course, we know it's challenging, but we have a fantastic team, a fantastic story to tell, whether it's the Workers' Rights Act, Employment Rights Act, whether it's the Renters' Rights Act, whether it's what we've done on child poverty, which has been incredible, and for hundreds of thousands of children now, they won't be growing up in poverty, and they can go as far as their talent. know and you know that whatever's going on in the world, and there is a lot, whatever's going on in politics, and there is a lot, ask most people what matters to them most, and they will say the cost of living. And that is what we absolutely have to focus on. And that's why I'm so proud that that was the centrepiece of our budget last year and the focus of all of our actions, because we must always have in our mind's eye the people most affected by our decisions when we're taking our decisions. And you know, and I know, that the global situation makes it so much harder when it comes to the cost of living. Now, I've been absolutely clear that our country is not going to get dragged into a war in Iran. That is not in our national interest, and no matter the pressure or wherever it comes from, we're not going to change our position. But we do have a duty to protect the country from the impacts, and the impacts are real on our economy. We can already see the difference in the forecast now to the forecast just a few months ago. And we know that on the forecourt people are feeling this when they're filling up their cars, and they know very well that what is happening internationally is affecting us domestically, and of course the impact on our streets with proxy attacks on our streets in relation to what's going on elsewhere in the world. So we have to protect our people from that. And we have to shape what comes next. This is not a time for putting our heads down and saying it's all gloom. This is a time for us to stand up and show the leadership that this country absolutely needs. And that has been failing for 20 years, because this is not the first time that we've had a global crisis, not the first time we've had something which has shaken our country. We've had it in 2008 with the financial crash. We had it with Brexit. We had it with COVID. We had it with the start of the Ukraine war. And every time the response of the then government, in my view, was completely wrong, because they said what we need to do is to get back to the status quo. But the status quo was not working for working people. It is not good enough. So this government will not be making that mistake. We will be not heading back for the status quo. We will be heading upwards to say we need to take more decisions on our economy to make sure it works for working people across the country. More decisions on energy, so that the bills of households across the country are not impacted every single time there's an international effect or conflict. And that means we must go absolutely faster in relation to renewables. Take back control of our bills, because that's the only way we can protect people. And we absolutely have to step up the defence and security of our country, working with our allies. And that's why I was at the European Political Summit yesterday, working with our allies about what more we can do to strengthen our position and protect our country in all of this. And of course, the other thing that has to be different this time is to make sure we give the hope and determination and opportunity. And hope for the country resides in our young people who haven't had a fair chance, who haven't had the proper who haven't had the apprentices, who are given those chances. We'll make sure that every single child has the opportunity to go as far as their talent and ability will take them. And hope resides in our places, where we live and where we work, the places that people are so proud of. And that's why I'm so pleased that we're going even further with the Pride in Place Fund, which means that there's money to be invested in places, but those that decide where it's invested and what it's used on are those with skin in the game, giving power to our communities and building them up. So we must make sure that we stick together, that we don't get dragged into conflicts which are not in our national interest, but we protect our country from the impacts of that we do the serious hard work of making our country stronger and more resilient, and we also give the country what it needs more than anything after the last 20 years or so, which is the hope and opportunity of a better future. That's why we're in politics. That's what we will do. Thank you so much.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Lovely, thank you.
Which camera now?
Fantastic. Right.
All good.
Let us sail in.
Great. Thank you.
So now people can mingle.
Right, question one is for the poll. Prime Minister, we're here in London today, a few days out from the local elections, but a new opinion poll shows that Labour's support in London has fallen quite significantly, down 15%. Why do you think that's the case, and how do you convince people to vote for you in your party?
Well, as you can see, we've got a fantastic Labour team working every single day in London and across the country, campaigning with fantastic councillors and candidates and with a very positive message. Of course, it's going to be a challenge, but it is really important that we go in fighting for every vote which has to be earned in relation to this. We know that whatever's going on in the world, whatever's going on in politics, the thing that people care about and most concerned about is the cost of living. And so it's really important that we as a government keep our focus on the cost of living, and in particular just at the moment make sure that although we're not going to get drawn into the war in Iran, I've been really clear about that, but we have a duty and we must protect the British public from the impact of that, and that's what I'll continue doing.